What's up, guys? Welcome back to Ralph's Garage. I'm out here working on the E36 again, just getting things ready to bolt the transmission to the engine, and then we'll be ready to get it in the car, which is exciting. That episode's going to be coming soon. Just waiting on some parts. Let me get you caught up on what I got going on here. All right, as you can see, also I'm using a new GoPro. So let me know what you think about it. I got one of those media mods with the microphone built into it. Let me know what you think, if this is better, because that old GoPro was giving me lots of problems. But anyway, back to the car. This is where we're at. I got that brake line built last time. You guys saw that. It goes up and over. I started really kind of working on getting the placement of the heater hoses and how they're going to run. And then I also drilled and put riv nuts in for this is the fuse box for the LS wiring harness. And I got the ECU is just kind of sitting in there right now. This is all of the LS plugs and the plug from that goes into the BMW round plugs over there. Yeah, the wiring harness I got from Wiring Specialties. I actually ordered it off of Sicky's website, and I guess they subcontract it out. I don't know if it's cheaper to go directly. I assume it's cheaper to go directly to Wiring Specialties. I didn't know any better, so I just ordered it through Sicky. But you're able to go through and select all your options. You can select what injectors you have, if you have a drive-by cable or drive-by wire throttle body, if your car was an automatic, like this was an automatic, what transmission, all that. You can go through and select it, and they'll build you the wiring harness to your needs, which is awesome. So hopefully it works out. It looks really good. The quality looks good. I'm going to get more into the wiring in another episode once the motor is installed, but it looks like this is going to work out great for me. Other than the stuff in the engine bay, I did start working on the transmission. I picked up the CAG delete and the reverse lockout delete, and I am going to use the plug for the CAGs right here. Maybe we can do that today. We can throw that on, but I am waiting on, I ordered a different kind of reverse lockout. It's a mechanical reverse lockout where you have to push past the detent, because that is extremely hard to get it into reverse with that solenoid there. But this guy right here, if you don't know what I'm talking about, normally on a T56 or a TR6060, you have this solenoid here, and in order to put it in reverse, you can like wire this to a brake switch or something like that, and it'll back the pressure off of the spring, and you're able to throw it in reverse. Without this being powered, it's really difficult to get in reverse, almost impossible. So what I got was, I think it was a company called RDE, makes like a billet piece that you bolt in place of this, and it has like a plunger with a spring on it, and you can put a lighter spring in it, so you still can't like accidentally go to reverse, but you have to push past it, and it's not as difficult as pushing past this solenoid. So I ordered that. That's on its way. That should be here shortly. I'm working on the oil cooler lines. I'm looking to pick up another one of these tight 90s, because over here on this side, this is what comes on in like a Camaro where I got my transmission from, and it sticks out too far, and this will actually hit the header right here. So I need to figure something out. If I could find another one of these tight 90s, that would be perfect, and then I can just put a hose on it and go to an oil cooler. I did get this little rubber guy in the mail. This is like the clutch line grommet, so that's handy. I also got this clutch line from Chase Bays. I put that on this old slave. I'm not going to use that slave. I ended up buying a new one here, so I got a new slave cylinder. The clutch base kit came with a bleeder line, but just for your guys' knowledge, if you're using a T56 and you have this style slave cylinder, this will not work with it, and I can show you exactly why here in a second. So this is the size of the threads to go into the bleeder side on the T56, and this is what you get in the kit from Chase Bays, which is listed as working with the T56. And let me hold them up side by side here. You can clearly see they are totally different thread sizes, and this will not fit. And on top of that, one of the whole reasons for going to this remote bleeder is, one, this is really hard to get to once the trans is installed. No, you don't want to bleed the clutch with this. It's a nightmare. This line would be easier because you can mount this off somewhere that's easier to get to, and you don't have to jam between the transwell and the bell housing to get to this. But it's not long enough. Let me turn you around. It's not long enough to say go. It would end up going about here. Now, if it was a couple inches longer, you could just put this inside of your reservoir, and if you have a line that's long enough to reach the reservoir, you can just sit there and pump your clutch all by yourself, one person. You don't have to worry about air going back into the clutch because it's submerged in the reservoir, and you kind of have a closed loop system, and it makes it super easy to bleed. So I ordered a longer line with the correct fitting on the end of it to fit into the slave cylinder that I'm using on the T50 or the TR6060, which I think is like Camaro stuff. It's this one. So if it looks like this, the chase-based stuff will not work for you. I don't know if they have something that works with the TR6060. The website says that it works with T56, TR6060, but when I went to go install that bleeder, it didn't fit at all. So waiting on that line. That's really the only thing that's holding me up from bolting the engine and transmission together, is that bleeder line. And I want that reverse lockout before I go installing the transmission in the car, just because it's easier to get to. They should both be here actually tomorrow or the next day. They'll be here in the next couple days. So not a big deal. But for now, I want to get something done because I have a few minutes. And my new theory with working on this car is, if I have a few minutes, get out to the garage and just pick something and just get it done. So what I'm going to do is, I got this heat wrap sealing spray. What this stuff does, you spray it on your heat wrap like this. If I leave this heat wrap like this, it will start to disintegrate and it will start to fall apart relatively quick. It'll be good probably for a year or so, but then it'll get brittle and rip and start to fall apart, and it'll look like crap. This sealing spray, it kind of like bonds it together so it doesn't disintegrate as easy. We'll take this one off, and then while this one dries, we'll come back and get the other one. I'm gonna actually hang this from a little tree outside next to the garage. So I'm not painting in the garage because I got the air on and it's pretty warm out. So let me get this off, and we'll go outside and give it a quick coat. Definitely gonna want gloves anytime you handle this heat wrap, especially before you seal it. The spray helps a lot with the itchiness. Already got a wrench set up for this. These are cool. They're not the greatest little earthquake ones from Harbor Freight, but it gets the job done. So let's go hang this up from the tree, and we'll get the paint. precariously. Don't move. You know what I like to do when I first get a GoPro? Put it in a real precarious situation. Really test out the balance. I'm gonna go get the other header. I'll be right back. Got the other header off the tree. I'm just gonna stick it back on the motor and let it dry there. All right, let's take this other one outside. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. Headers are mounted up on the motor. They're gonna dry there. They're looking really good. I'm happy I got something accomplished towards the goal of getting the motor in the car. Once I get this bleeder line for the clutch in and that reverse lockout doohickey that I was telling you about, we're gonna install the transmission onto the motor, get the clutch in there, all that, flywheel, all that bolted up, and then it's go time. It'll be time to slam it in the car. And then from there, it's really just kind of plugging things in, getting things hooked up. Once it's in the car, I'm gonna get final measurements for a drive shaft. Until next time, thanks for watching. Thank you to everyone who has been subscribing. I've been noticing the numbers climb, and I wanna keep that momentum going. So if you're watching right now and you're not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. When I see that subscriber count go, I really get motivated to make videos, and it helps my personal motivation. So as a personal favor, not even the YouTube algorithm and all that stuff that everybody else talks about, but just for my own motivation, it lets me know that what I'm doing out here isn't falling on deaf ears or blind eyes. So hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, drop a comment and let me know that you subscribed, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya. You guys thought I forgot about that CAGS delete, didn't you? Nah, let's do it right now. It'll be real quick. End of the video content. Let me get you set up on the old mini tripod here. All right, so here's your CAGS. What this does to help improve fuel efficiency and gas mileage, I guess, they have the computer program that if you're going over a certain speed, this will direct you from first to fourth. It'll like push over. I don't know. I don't need this, and I'm clearing up the space. So let's as soon as I figure out how to work this. How do you work these? Oh, there's a button on this. Okay, so I don't have a wrench big enough for this. Well, I do. It's right here. I lied. I do have a wrench. I have a wrench that's too big for this, but I don't have one that fits it correctly. So we'll pull this guy out, discard this. But yeah, see there's a piston in here, and this is like an actuator. So whenever the computer senses that you should go from first to fourth, or from fourth to sixth, I don't know. I think it's just first to fourth. This piston will push out. It'll push on the shifter assembly, and it'll kind of guide you into fourth gear. You know, we don't need this, so let's take our Sicky bag. So I kind of wasted my money on this, and if you're just deleting the you know, the reverse lockout, if you're just deleting both of these, this is a good little kit because it has what you need. But this is literally a drain plug, and if you just want to buy this without spending the money on the Sicky kit, the size is M20 by 1.5, M20 by 1.5 oil drain plug and an O-ring, and you're set. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up my dime bag here, get my O-ring out of there, and put the O-ring on, and we'll install this into the side of the trans here, and we'll use our fancy pump action adjustable wrench. We'll snug her down. You don't gotta go too crazy because it does have an O-ring. Bam. CAGS is deleted. So I still have this drain plug, or the plug for the reverse lockout. And what you would do if you're installing this, just find a socket that fits this perfectly. Take this off, put a little bit of RTV around here, and just tap it in with a socket. And it'll basically just plugs the hole inside of the trans. And if you wanted to get this, the part number that's stamped on this, it's a Dorman freeze plug, part number 555-100-B. Okay, so again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. I'm out.